Blessings everyone, this is Reverend Aphren with the Four Pillars Proto Temple. So I'm coming to you today because I want to share a recipe with you. This recipe is for a sage purification spray. A lot of people, and because of where I work in a residential facility for people that are struggling with substance use and mental health. So being in a location like that and dealing with a lot of high, intensive, energetic situations where people are stressed out or people are anxious or people are dealing with things like trauma and abuse, I've found that it's nice to have something to sort of purify that space and purify those energies. And obviously, being in a facility, I can't be waving around my sage smudge stick, because if I do, the sprinklers are going to go on. So what I've decided to do is actually make a spray, a sage spray. So this recipe here, I will share with you. I did find some of it online, and I added some additional things for myself. So you're welcome to use the recipe that I'm sharing with you. But again, I did actually find sort of the base of this recipe online, and I do apologize, I don't know who the original author was of this recipe. So allow me to go ahead and share it with you. I have my book of shadows, and let's go ahead and talk about what you'll need. So first of all, what you're going to need is you will need a amber bottle, preferably one that's a sprayer, okay? And this amber bottle, I think I bought 10 of them for like 10 or 12 bucks on Amazon. This is a 2-ounce bottle. You can get whatever you want, but a small bottle is probably pretty good. You're also going to need some witch hazel. I have this one here. I normally use like off-brand, like Walmart brand witch hazel, but they've been out of it for so long because of the pandemic. I actually had to buy brand names. So I do have some witch hazel. And keep in mind that this witch hazel is 14% alcohol by volume. And it's also made with 100% witch hazel. So just be mindful of that. I also have some sea salt. This is a big thing of sea salt. I have sage essential oil. Let me see if I can put it, zoom in. Yep, there's my sage essential oil. And then I also have some storm water. Normally I use lustral water, storm water, different things like that. So I will use that as part of this as well. You're going to need, if you can find it, quartz, oh dear, I'm just trying to make sure you can see everything. Quartz chunks. So chips of quartz. So I have this little bottle of a whole bunch of chips of quartz. So I have that. I also have sage citrus oil. It's probably more of an oil blend. It's used, this is called fragrance oil. So it does give a little bit of the fragrance of it. I do not believe this is an essential oil. It is a fragrance oil that I like to use. This oil here is an actual essential oil, specifically made 100% pure essential oil. So this is the real stuff. And then finally, I also like to throw in a couple drops of this, which is also fragrance oil, but it is lavender. So I have some lavender fragrance oil. So I will go ahead and share with you the recipe before we get started. So you will need 4 drops of the sage oil, which is, again, the fragrance. You will need 4 drops of the lavender oil, fragrance. You will need 2 tablespoons of witch hazel. And I'll tell you the reason why. The reason I put witch hazel in is if you think about some of the other aerosol sprays that people use for different things, normally they have alcohol in them, right? So like perfumes and stuff that all has alcohol in it. So I wanted something that was going to be a preservative to have alcohol in it, also as sort of a stabilizer for the spray. So I use 2 tablespoons of the witch hazel astringent as a sort of a purifier, but also as a stabilizer and as a way to preserve the mixture. And then you also need half a teaspoon of salt. So I use the sea salt. You'll also need 2 tablespoons of lustral water. So I don't have lustral water right now, but I do have storm water, which did sit out overnight in the middle of a storm. So it's kind of a little bit of both, but I like that extra oomph with the storm water. If you think about it, normally when I sit it out, I don't just sit it out. I normally do some invocations, ask for blessings upon the water to really sort of instill and empower the water before I actually bring it in. So I give it time to sort of do all the stuff that it does. So we have that. Like I said, lustral water I like to use as well. And then of course, additionally, 4 drops of the sage essential oil. So that's pretty much what we'll need. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with the 4 drops of the sage oil. So I try to keep them together as best I can. So I have this, I have my dropper, right? And I have the actual sage oil. And I wish you could smell this because it's really, really, really good. So I'm trying to keep it close so you can see what the heck I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So I want to take 4 drops of this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Trying to keep everything simple and separate, because if not, you know, things happen. And for those of you who may be wondering where I got this, I did get this from the craft store. So these fragrance oils I got from the craft store in the soap and candle section. So actually it was actually marketed for soap, so it should be safe on the body, even though I normally don't spritz the spray on my body. Again, here's the lavender oil. You're going to need 4 drops of the lavender oil. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's do 4 drops of the sage oil. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's in there. Okay, so at this point then we're going to go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons of witch hazel. So I have my tablespoons right here. I have my witch hazel right here. One, whoops, overshot there a little bit. 2. And then we need half a tablespoon of salt. I'm sorry, half a teaspoon, rather. A little more than that. Okay, half a teaspoon of salt, and then finally the 2 tablespoons of lustral water. And the last time I made this, I second guessed myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have enough. This is a mess. And it ended up being more than enough. So 1 and 2. Okay. So this is kind of what it looks like. I'm gonna just give it a good stir. You want to mix up all that salt in there. Give that salt a minute to sort of just dissolve. It's almost gone. A little bit more. I'm gonna just throw this in the sink since I'm here in my kitchen. Okay, so then normally what I do is I sort of, you know, you can mix all ingredients. This recipe yields, again, 2 fluid ounces. If you can see my BOS, you can see. This recipe mixes 2 fluid ounces. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. So now we have this here. So what I like to do at this point, is, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of an issue with my camera stand. There we go. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and bless it. So, behold, I do exercise thee, O creature of essence, and cast out from thee any impurities which may lie within thee. And behold, I do bless and charge thee for this work. And behold, I activate you, O creature of sage, and I ask that anything that you touch may be blessed and purified. So what it be? So, and then I have my amber bottle, right? So I have this bottle. I'm going to make a label for it. I just forgot to do it before I started the video. Now, a lot of these amber bottles, they come with, obviously, the pump, right? So there's the pump, and then you have the stem. Sorry, it's hard to see. I'm getting too close. There we go. The pump and the stem. And now the stem is normally really long. So what I do is I cut it so that when it goes inside, it goes right to the bottom. So that's kind of what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step right over to the sink real quick, which is right here, and I'm going to just pour this in. And I'm having an issue because the salt is not completely dissolved quite yet. Oops. So it's a little less than 2 fluid ounces, but it works. Okay, I'm just rinsing it, if you hear that sound. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. And we're going to do one final step here, which is really important. And we'll be all good. Okay. So here it is. I've went ahead and filled it. So as you can see, I spilled a little bit when I was pouring it, so there's a little less than 2 fluid ounces in there. A friend of mine at work actually asked for some of this, so that's why I'm making it today. Normally I make bigger batches of it. So one last thing I have to do is with my quartz chunks. Now this was part of the original recipe, so I like to keep it. So I just get myself one little piece of quartz, and I just so happen to find, oh, it's hard to see, right there. I just happened to find at a metaphysical store these little chunks of quartz. So I don't know exactly what they're selling them for, but they seem to suit my purpose just fine. So I do the same with this. I cleanse and consecrate this, and I add it to it. So bear with me. Behold, I do exercise thee, O creature of earth, and do cast out from thee any impurities that may lie within thee. And behold, I do bless and charge thee for this work. O creature of earth, I call unto you and ask you to come and aid me. Add your energies, your vitality, your strength, and your energies to this spray, so that as this spray is used, you may strengthen the purification. So what it be? I'm going to go ahead and just throw that inside there. And I got too close. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is basically how I make my spray. Again, I did find the recipe online, so I have some things to go off of, but the rest of it I did take liberties and make it my own. So you're welcome to use it if you're in a space where you aren't able to obviously light your incense or light your sage smudge. You're welcome to use this spray. It is fantastic. It works really well, and it smells really well too. If you can't find the additional fragrances that I have, that's just fine too. These ones are for fragrance. This I do not believe has any essential oil of sage at all. It's used for candles and soap. So there's no essential oil in here, but I was able again to procure this. So this is some of the most important things. So whatever you like to do to add to give it a little extra fragrance, a little extra oomph for you, you go right ahead, and it'll stay foggy like this for just a little while, and then it'll eventually settle down. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get the opportunity to make it, because it's really fun and easy to make, and you can use it in so many different ways. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, signing off for now.